Hi, Mehul.
Hey, hi.
Very good morning, sir. I think we are just can say good afternoon.
Yeah,
It's
between the
12.
good morning and good afternoon. Yeah,
So, very good morning, sir. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, good. I
Yeah,
hope you can see and hear me clearly.
yeah, I can see you and hear you clearly.
Perfect. So, thanks for joining me on very short notice. I'll set the background picture again. This is a 30 PM interview series where the JD would be talking about would be a senior product manager role with Games to Win. Okay. So I am Hariom Vashishtha. I'm the host. I'll be enabling these 30 interviews. Today is the third interview, and we have Mehul with me. I believe the candidate will be the right person to describe themselves, right? So I've described this, defined this the first question as, take your 5 minutes, assume that there are 1,000 people watching you right now, right? Although there is none at the moment, but assume there are 1,000 people all watching you right now. Take your 5 minutes and get their attention. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Your time
Thanks,
starts now.
Hari. Thanks, Hari. So I have total of 8 years of experience. Initially 3 years into the software development and later 5 years into the product management. Specialization in product strategy, market research, prioritizing product roadmap, as well as defining detailed PRD, and working closely with cross-functional team that led to development of the product and go-to-market strategy. I have strong background in conducting user research, understanding competitive landscape, leading the Scrum team, monitoring product metrics, as well as identifying area of improvement that helped me in successfully launching couple of digital product that made business objective. So I was born and brought up in a small town named Dahanu, which is on the border of Maharashtra, Gujarat, and Arabian Sea. In 2009, I moved to Mumbai to pursue my BTech in computer science engineering from one of the uh, top engineering college in India, which was the used in Mumbai. In 2013, when I graduated, I was selected during the campus placement. I joined Samsung R&D Institute. I worked there for around 3 years as a software developer. Mainly, I was working on the Android application development, helping company in launching new features as well as new Android app for their flagship phone, S series and Note series. 2016, I joined IIM Bangalore to pursue my full-time MBA. There was no denying, fact that 3 years of employment with Samsung helped me a lot in learning some of the courses as well as case study. I was a member of sports club as well as represented IIM Bangalore volleyball team as a captain in various inter IIM sports as well as one gold medal. After that, after completing my MBA, I started working with Kotak Mahindra Bank as a management trainee to analyze the data and provide the insights on corporate banking product, and lately slowly transition in my role into technical PM role, into the product management space, mainly in the payment domain. As a data PM, I have defined product metrics, gather the data by querying using the SQL, process that using advanced Excel, Python, R, and then with my communication and presentation skill, I have provided the insight to the senior management to help them make a better decision that led to the increase in revenue for the organizations. I have worked for around 3.5 years for digital payment product at Kotak Mahindra Bank. I have shown great success in working with leadership team, collaborated with cross-functional team to define product requirement, prioritization feature, as well as ensure alignment with business goals and user needs. Uh, Apart from that, I have worked closely on the payment domains piece since it was the bank, and bank is always closely regulated by RBIs and other entities. So it's very important that you launch the product that are in this purview of legal and compliance. So I had worked with all this legal compliance. And at one point of time, I was analyzing the data of all the corporate bank users, makers, and checkers, mainly to improve the legal and compliance aspects. So yeah, this is all I was working. After that, after working with Kotak, since I had worked with two big companies, Samsung and Kotak. So I wanted to, you know, test the water by working in the startup environment. That's when I transition in my role, and I started. I joined Blue Cognition. So Blue Cognition is again one of, it was 4-year-old startup back at time, and I joined that as a product head. I was the only product person, working there. My role over there was to build the B2B SaaS product, uh, having an API. So I was working closely on the technical side, on the AI side. The product was for community and small bank in US and Europe to help them automate their credit lending process, as well as having an API that could integrate directly into the bank client systems. My focus was on devising product vision by identifying, business objective, defining priorities, roadmap. In addition to that, I was leading the tech team as well, and working closely with outsourced vendors who were the developers, guiding them, as well as working with them to build the product as per the specs. Uh, my role there was, apart from this product role, I was working closely with business. I had set up a new process and practices in the organization, which is the agile methodology. I think the agile methodology is very common in product space.
Sure.
So we were introducing, we were working on Jira, Confluence, and all the other tool. I was using the Figma as a product design tool to help management to visualize the product, even before tech team could work and develop that product, uh, because it was the startup. And one of my major objective was learning, working across cross-functional departments. So I was working closely with the other department head. I was working with operation team to help automate their some of the processes that could reduce the time by 90%. I was working with HR team to build a recruitment app which was on the no code power automate solutions that will help them manage the data across all the organizations. So because of this initiative and successfully launching that B2B product, I was asked to build the own team of 30 plus individuals, that includes data scientist, product manager, as well as business analyst, and that was it. Yeah. So I think that was my major role. If I talk about my background, I come from the background in technology and data, with strong interest and passion, with love for digital. I love to drive, you know, travel, connect with people all around my life. I stay updated with industry trend, emerging technologies. I think the
Okay.
GPT best practices in product management and apply to enhance them in a product knowledge. So yeah, this is all about my hobbies and interests as well.
Perfect. Perfect. So you actually utilize more than 5 minutes to talk about yourself.
Yeah, I
Uh,
think it's 6 minutes.
yeah, yeah. So, and I like the this is the core skill of a product manager, right? They can talk about life stories. we
Yeah,
got to
yeah,
be we got to be the storytellers of our life, right?
that's correct. Yeah, I think the storytelling is one of the key skill of product manager. If they don't tell their story well to even the internal audience, to the client, nobody's going to buy it, and then your
Right.
product is going to fail.
That's how we sell ourselves. Interesting.
Correct.
So I also I was trying to listen very carefully, although I missed some of the pointers in between. But you have got various kinds of experiences in your career, right?
Right.
Interesting. Um, so I key pointers I remember I missed to note down. You have done some kind of data analysis to support somewhere in the processes, right?
Right.
And you were also talking about you were trying to impact 90% time less, that something like that.
Right. Right.
What was that? Tell me a little bit more about that
Yeah,
incident.
sure. So when I was working with that startup now, I'll give you the task that the operation team was doing, before launching this tool and then after launching the impact, right?
Right, right.
So they used to receive this lot of PDF file, and if you open the PDF file, there are three formats for any PDF file normally. One is that, or if I broadly classify for the audience to just simplify, there are two. One is the native, which we call, and the second is non-native. So native is where you can copy the text and then paste. I think many of the time you might have tried to copy certain text,
Okay.
and the other instances, if you try to copy it, it's like selecting all the area, On the PDF, you're not
Okay,
able to
sorry.
copy.
Let me take a step back. Help me understand the product. What was the product doing?
Yeah, so product was extracting all the data from that PDF, and it was machine learning and AI
Okay.
features. So it was processing. You must have talked. You must know about the NLPs and
Right.
all
Right.
this feature. Like so,
Right.
it was the advanced level of the AI that was doing on the data. But the initial first level for that processing is, I think you must be knowing that any data processing required the data cleansing and extraction. So extracting the data from the PDM is really important. So now I'll come back to the operation teams.
Yes.
Operation team, they used to receive like you will receive a case, and that case could have 200 PDF file.
Right.
Now tell me, if you have 100, 200 PDF file, how will you? And I'll give you two folder, that native and non-native, and you have to classify that. So how
Right.
much time is it going to take you to understand, whether that, uh, for each file, I think you will go ahead, right? Open
Right.
that and
Manually,
do
of
that.
course, it will be like
Right. So I have
manual.
created a tool in Python that will do that in a fraction of 2 seconds. You just have to
Okay.
run that and upload all those file, and then it will give you two folder. So that
Interesting.
was about that automation.
Right. Okay. So that's how you reduce the time consumption to do that activity by 90%.
Correct.
That 90% is again, I would say maybe it would be 99%.
99% correct. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Interesting. Um, let's talk about the data analytics part you were talking about.
Right. So yeah, I think I will give you the example of bank, right? Because bank, on a daily basis they keep on getting lot of data,
Hmm.
right? In India itself, the number of payments that are being done. I think the UPIs and NPCI publish lot of data. So for
Right.
a Kotak Mahindra bank, and I was a part of payment bank. So
Right.
think of the volume of data that we used to receive on a daily and a monthly basis, right?
Right.
And the bank used to operate. So we had to present, and I was a part of corporate CMS product team. So it was
Right.
an the corporate payment side. So we used to analyze the data on a monthly basis and then publish the report to the senior management, right? How was the performance, whether it was going down or not. And now you can visualize the amount of data that we used to receive, right? It can't fit in the Excel sheet, because imagine the volume of payment all of your clients were doing on a monthly basis, right? So I was using certain tools, right? Because I had the expertise in technical skills, so I was using the R to process the CSV file. It's like you have to think of, or understand that you have to process the file without opening that file, because if you open the file, you can't see it in the Excel sheet. Excel, the number of limit that Excel sheet has, it's 10 lakh,
Right.
1 million, right? So with
Right.
the 1 million, you
You
can't, it'll keep on processing. You need that supercomputer, I think we're talking about
right.
the data. So I was processing that, and then second skill that I learned was the Power BI, right? So in the Power BI, you can work with the meta, big data and all that stuff. So I was uploading all those input file, and I created automated certain records. So Power BI is the tool. If I can explain that in 30 seconds. It will, you can load the data, you can do the processing on that, like data extraction, cleansing, data wrangling that we talk about, and then you can generate a nice report. And then nice report you can simply copy paste into the PowerPoint that you can present. And second best advantage is that the next time if you upload that simple file, just give me a second, I think there is
Sure.
noise.
Of
uh,
course.
so if you upload that file next time, it will give you directly report in your PowerPoint in just 2 minutes. You don't have to work anything. So that's how you can take about you can think about this part as well. Reducing the time for entire operation team by automating this task. So yeah,
Interesting.
again, this was the data analysis and data processing, and again, it was yeah, I think initially we were talking about data, storytelling part. So that's again,
Right.
that's how I was used to presenting all this data to my boss, who was the product head, as well as to the leadership team.
Interesting.
And
So,
on the top of that, if I add it in a minute, so again, when you have the data, it's good, right? But how do you provide an insights? So he was, using that to increase the revenue opportunity for the bank as well. Identifying that this is the client. He's not paying you, and he's just utilizing your systems and all that. Maybe we should go. behind him, we should increase the charges, we should ask him to pay more fees. So that's where I led to increase in revenue for the banks
Interesting.
as well. So,
Interesting. So we are almost 15 minutes in the interview. Um, so I liked some of the parts. I would like to now switch the conversation towards product management. Aspects of product management. Let's say, right? Um, we talked about the data analytics and tech. I understand you've been in core into tech, hands-on the tech, right?
right.
Uh, what else? Have you been through wireframing processes also?
Yes, I have. I have done it all by myself because when I was working in the team, when I was working as a product manager, there was no design team.
Hmm.
So I had to do my own design. And I think to for the audience to give the understanding of the product management space. So I think there are four main phases. If I broadly classify, first is
Please.
start with your product objective, product strategy, wherein you work closely with business client to understand their requirement, trying to convert those user needs into the the product features. So that's the first phase. Second phase comes in that prioritization, where you try to figure out out of all those needs, which needs you want to prioritize basis your knowledge, experience, basis the business objective, and along with that is the designing part. So that design is really important. And then third phase is like the product development, and fourth is like the go to market strategy. How do you target? I think we'll talk about that later. But now coming back again on the designing part, two major advantage for the designing is the first is that it helps internal team. Maybe you're because as a product manager, you have to work without authority. As we talk about, so you have to work with your marketing sales team. You have to convince them that this product is going to win.
Yes.
So when you identify that, let's say on the Amazon itself, if I talk about the Amazon app, and I've identified that that showing that product photos, showing the product description, discount is important. So I will use Figma. I have expertise in a lot of designing tools, so I will use Figma. I'll create sketch up the screen, and then I'll present it to the management, product head, and the sales and marketing team, trying to convince that if this discount we are showing it over here in the red color, then this is going to really attract the audience. And then that's how we win their points, and then go ahead with the development. This is the one advantage. The second advantage mainly is that your development team itself. Now think of the two scenarios. You are the developer. First is that I will give you the story that hey Hari, I want you to build this Amazon app. I want you to show me the photo screen. I want you to add the text for discount and all, and the product description. And second instance is that I will give you the screen, and then I'll show you this. This is how you need to design. Which one do you prefer the more, right? Second one, right? So that's how this designing really helps in the third stage of product management, which is the product development phase. So it really helps you to connect with your developer. They understand the part well, and then that leads to the less issues, less go back and go forth and back on the development phase with your developer. So yeah, and to talk about my experience, I was using the Figma. I was doing designing all by myself because I had that skill on paints and all. And then a couple of other tools that I was also using, like draw.io, and then yeah. So
Interesting. Um, because the Games to Win is a gaming company, I would also like to know: have you got some gaming experience, gaming app development experience?
I haven't, but there was one friends of mine who, wanted to build this visualize. I think we talked about the VR space, right? So VR based app he wanted to create. So he was kind of more majorly into the sales space. So he reached out to me and he wanted to draft an entire design document as well as PRD. So I really helped him, and this game was mainly about it's like your you move around into the space. It's like a poker. Uh, it's like that Pokemon game that we have
Interesting.
played
Interesting.
in few years back. So you go around, you move around, and then use your mobile phone to detect your lottery. And then once you it's like you're moving around the city. Once you identify that gems lottery, you open that, and then you do certain activities. So this was this game about. So it was on the VR space, and I help him, draft around 50 page of document. It was a product design document. It covers the entire aspects of how the admin will set up that game, a developer will develop that, as well as a user will use that game.
Wow. So depth, like 50 pages, huh?
Yeah,
Uh, and
it
for a
had
friend.
screens. Yeah, it had screens and everything. So
Interesting, interesting. Um, how, how much do you know about games to win? In case you don't, uh, would you like to share something?
yeah, I think I have some bit of understandings about games to win, because I keep on. I think there are two part that I'll talk about. One is that even if I am the product manager working on a B2B payment product that I was talking about, as well as AI product, but apart from that, my personal hobbies, personal interest lies in playing the game. So many of the time you could see me playing those mobiles game, newly launched, that are coming on the Play Store app, as well as some of the PC games. Like, I'm the big fan of FIFA games, so you find me playing on studio. So yeah, I think the games to win uh, uh, is mainly into this gaming space, right? And
Leave it there. So let me try to describe. Been through. Uh, I think it has been into business more than 5 years. That's the big picture I know. But there are two kind of major games Games to Win has. One is the dress up games where kids play with the dressing up of the dolls or toys. Second is driving games. So you can learn the basics of driving on road or rules on the road.
like a simulator.
Simulator, right?
I have
And
played that
or maybe
game.
it's a
Yes,
racing game like that,
right.
right? There are two majorly business models. One is the in-app purchases, the currency, right? Second is the ad banners, right? Banner ads. Um, do you have some? So, what I understand, you have been some experience on the in the payments ecosystem, right? And since you are product manager, curiously looking into things, do you have some? I would say opinion about monetizing models of the games. How do you make
Uh,
money from the games? Like anything like that?
okay, can I talk about uh, experience on my product page when we have monetized certain product, and then maybe I'll try to cover it on
Sure, sure.
the this. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, So, the B2B SaaS product which I was, building on, and it was, I think, the PDF example that we've, I just recently explained on
Right.
that piece. So the monetizing, we thought about, monetizing that product, because initially it was on a contractual basis. It had monthly contract, and then they used to send us a file renew process. But then as we move ahead, we've introduced per page, per PDF file. So that was kind of uh, new to the company, and we were started uh, uh, acquiring new clients basis that per page pricing. So you send us 200 files on an average, it one has a 10, so 2000 pages. So based on that 2000 pages, we used to charge those. And second one was that basis the features. So I was talking about multiple AI based.
Oh, we lost the candidate. There might be power failures. I don't know what else. Oh, he's back.
The thing is, yeah, you will be.
Yeah, I can hear you now. I don't know what happened.
So second one is that, as we have launched a couple of features. To talk about the features, these are the advanced AI-based feature, right? Like the NLP model we are talking about. So what we've asked is that we've offered the basic features to the client, and for this advanced, this is a kind of an advanced features. So for each advanced feature they could purchase, they had to buy in uh, from their pocket, their wallet, and then they can opt for those additional features. So it was all add-on feature for me. So now, maybe on the uh, simulator space itself, I think these are again the AI. VR based space we talk about, right? Because it is kind of the augmented realities, space in the VR, wherein that players see themselves moving around and
Mehul, can I
right.
take a second?
Yeah, yeah,
So your screen freezes very often. You freeze. That's one thing, and your voice is little unclear too. If I have to actually concentrate on the voice very hardly. Is there something you can do about it?
yeah, yeah. Give me a minute. I will.
The voice is better now.
Yeah, just give me
Did you
second.
bring more mic closer to you?
Yeah, is it fine now?
It's better,
Yeah.
right? Screen, I don't
If
know if the internet speed can increase quickly. I don't know
okay, just a
if there's something.
second. Just a second. Give me. Hmm.
Oh, yeah, it must be switching the networks. So I like this person. Has been through various good experiences. I've been making notes. So he's got payments experience. He's got technology on hands programming experience. So very well suited, I think. Um, we'll wait. Oh, I think I'll have to add him somehow. Yes.
Is it clear now? I think it should be.
Let's see. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah.
Voice
So,
is better.
yeah, great. To talk about the monetization now into this game, I think the in-app purchase is already there, right? Because this is one of the popular ways to monetize any
Yeah.
game, and it offer the uh, players to purchase this virtual goods, currencies, power up, special item within the game,
Hmm.
right? So that is there, and again, as a product manager, I will talk, think about what all uh, new item that we can introduce into that in-app purchase as well. So that is again a monetization opportunity basis use. And the second one is that ad side, integrating the ads into the game can again generate the revenue. But what really important is the placement and timing of this ad, because if you go on the Play Store and look for the hundreds of game, on the 80 of those games you will find that user complaints about ad coming up on their playing station, playing studio. So that is again, as a product manager, it's really important how do you place those and all. Again,
Hmm.
free to play with certain premium features that again offer the, it's like like in a cricket game, like a, a bat from Sachin Tendulkar, or maybe certain kind of helmet or clothes that will attract the audience to pay for those things, and unlock, they can unlock them by paying the premium. Another could be the subscription model, I think, which I was talking about in my experience with the company. So consider implementing the subscription-based monetization revenue, where player will pay a recurring fee on a monthly basis, a small fee, but it's recurring for the company, and that keep on attracting. And I think that way there could be a lot of other options. I'm not. Uh, it's hard to think right now, but yeah, I can think of more as well.
Perfect. Perfect. So my question was little asking about the your views, and I think you have been able to very clearly point some areas that we need to be careful about, right? Um, okay. The JD, right? The JD for this SPM role at Games to Win says it requires 7 years of product management experience for this specific role, right? Um, so does that count as one of the eligible candidates?
Yeah, I think I will explain it to you, with my experience that as well. So,
Sure.
when I think there are two advantages that I had when I was working as a software developer with Samsung. One
Right.
is, during my IIM Bangalore curriculum,
So
because it
back
was
was when? Sorry, which year was that?
2016 to 2018 when I was
Sure.
doing my MBA, 2 years of MBA, 2 years of full-time MBA. Why is that? Mainly because there were a couple of case studies that they could present, because it was learning all about business. You had to learn about business operation, business marketing, business strategies. So for that, you have to visualize certain aspect, because in the case study it talks about there were two founders, there was the operation team that was not doing. But since I was working in the corporate culture, I could relate to certain aspect. That's the HR. This is all things used to happen in HR. This all used to things happen when you take leave and all those policies, HR policies, right?
Hmm.
So that was the first advantage. And second advantage was when I started working as a product management. So I have total of 5 years of experience after completing my MBA. But that initial 3 years really helped me. One is because working with the development team, because as a product manager you have to work with developers, right? You have to negotiate on your timeline for each sprint, how much item that you can add. But
Hmm.
since you understand that, since I understand the technical aspect, it was easy for me to debate on that algorithm, any ideas that they could work upon. Because what goes into the backend is, right, the algorithm as well as new development. Because I was good with front end back end development. I knew Python, Java, PHP. I knew HTML, CSS, JavaScript, all those languages. It was easy for me to go into the technical aspect. And second aspect was itself was mainly from the client and the stakeholder point of view. Because many of the time, if there are certain delays in terms of developing, it's very important to explain those technical uh, nitty-gritties to your clients, and who do not have much knowledge into the technical aspects. So
Right.
how do you explain that technical terms to the non-technical stakeholder was one of the skill that I have acquired during that journey. So I think I will count that as a 8 years of experience into the product management plus software development space.
Great. Okay. So you're saying whenever, like, by the time you are actually a software developer, you are already thinking about like a product manager, right?
Right, right.
Interesting. Okay. Um, so that's about the various aspects. About games Joven, I think we have enough conversation, right? What else do you have? I mean, anything else? Let's say you have got this opportunity to start from today, right? Um, and you are supposed to build this and take care of a mobile app which has got almost 100 million, at least 1 million daily active users, right? Um, and you are supposed to look at the monetization model. What would questions would you be asking to move forward, plan your next 30 or 60 days? You are
Mhm.
supposed to focus on the
Uh,
monetization.
which app did you talk about? Any app that I can take?
Sorry, I'll repeat my question.
No.
I'm saying I'm putting it a hypothetical situation, right? Let's assume you are now finally a senior product manager with Games to Win. You're supposed to take care of monetization aspect of particular game, that is car racing, right? Simulation, and you need to now start thinking about your next 36 to 60 days. How will you go about actually doing it, or what questions you will have in your mind?
Okay. I think what I will do first is, and again, any product manager should be doing that, right? Is to, not jump directly into the, development or, ideation phase, but
Right.
is to learn about your audiences, to learn about your. So let's say if I, if that company is there, what I could really do is that, l- study that the company. This is the pre-study that I will do, right? Mainly
Right.
to understand their audiences, geography. So again, I will use my data analysis skill.
Right.
Which all geography do they cater to? Who are the power user, active user? Use it on daily basis. Who are the occasional user? Who are the non-users? As well as I will work closely with business to understand their objective. What was the problem that you were trying to solve? Many of the time, the problem is just a single liner, but that helps. That really helps to help any product manager, or myself to uh, uh, draft a plan or roadmap for the next 20 to 30 days, right? And next is that many of the time, the objective itself, that is really important. That objective could be as simple as, so, because I have had many ideas in the past itself. So what is that objective that the leaders carry, the founder or developer? It could be, they want to reach out to many users as possible, like NGO activity, without much causing them or paying them for that. Then it could be reached out to millions or billions or user. Second could be they're just looking for a profit. I just want to make a good profit on this, and maybe I want to give basic features to the users, and then for the advanced one I'll pay. So now to give you the yeah.
Okay, let me try to interrupt you because I'll bring you back to the pointer. We were talking about planning your 30 to 60 days, right? What you
Right.
are saying is that we'll try to define the goal first,
This is the
understand.
case study. Right. Yeah. And now if I want to give you the plan, and if I go ahead, uh, it is mainly, on the week one, or, the initially I'll give you the plan for maybe the 30 days, So one is that the in-app purchases, right? Now I am assuming that, this app doesn't have any monetization. It's all free, right? That's where I'll start it. So I will launch a special maybe starter pack containing set of premium cars in game currencies at a
Okay,
discounted
you're
prices to
again going
incite.
into the depth of clear, specific plan, right?
Right, yeah.
Right, wait. So let's try to focus on the goal, defining the goal part. What things do you need to define a goal?
Uh, okay. So I think during the product journey, there are two aspects that I will touch upon, right? If I want to define, so product goal, as we say, comes from two aspects. One is from business, and second is from client. From business, we get to know about the business strategy, right? So if you could open any company's website, there are three things mentioned: the goal, vision, and mission, right? And I think if any company is setting up and they don't have these three things, it's really getting it difficult. I think it could change over the time, but the one thing that I've learned during my MBA is that the company should have that mission, vision, and then goals that should be there. Otherwise, they will think about adding feature X or feature Y, and then it'll never reach that target. So that's where I will get the idea about what a goal. And second is that users, because initially, even if I take an example of some of the big names like Steve Jobs and any other the big product leader that have developed the product, maybe you've defined certain vision or mission, and once you interview your user, once you understand their problem, your mission or vision could change. But understanding that user needs is really important. So I will go back again to the uh, you know uh, in this case which I was solving right now or explaining. I'll assume that the game is already developed, and it's ready. But I'll go back, I will question those initial team that have developed this. What will list of user problem, user need that they've identified, and maybe I will go around, look at that.
Okay, let me try to be more
And
specific, right?
right, this is more specific, and the basis that I will draft a product goal.
I'll repeat my question, right? I'll try to repeat because I think we are diverging from somewhere here. What things do you need to actually define a goal? What aspects do you need to know, or what questions would you ask, like to define a goal? So let's say we want to define a 30 days goal. That's the agenda. That's the question.
Okay.
You join today. You need to define a 30 days goal.
Mm, okay, but can I ask
Does
one
that question
question?
make sense? Sorry, does that question make sense?
No, I have one question on that.
Sure.
So you'll have to be slightly brief in terms of, oh, which goal are we framing on? Is it on developing new product itself? Is it on developing new feature? Is it on launching into the new market?
Yes, yes, that's what is the right question to be asked, right? So when we are saying what kind of goal, what kind of things do we need to define a goal, something like that. You will start with like, what do you want? Maybe
Right.
you will. I mean, that's again in from my thoughts, right? So if
Mm,
we are joining somewhere today, rather than we defining a goal, maybe the team should be. We should be collaborating with them to define a goal. Like what
that's
exactly
correct.
currently you
Yeah.
are working on. Let
And I
me try
think
to.
the important piece which I will question is the technology that we're using. Because many of the time it happens that what technology the entire technology team is aware about, what they're using on, what their expertise is. It's kind of a competitive. It's kind of the the advantage the company carrying. The yeah.
Sure. Let's take talk about different kind of some different kind of questions. User behavior. Have you studied user behavior or some topics, some books around that?
Uh, I think on user behavior, I had.
Or your
Uh,
own theories about mobile gaming or in industry as a whole?
so
User
I
behavior, not about user behavior, as an industry trends, like in India this happens, it doesn't happen, something like that. Random thoughts you have.
Yeah. So I think on the product management space itself, I have, because I was not working in the gaming space, right? So I did
Yeah,
not
which is fine.
went ahead and read the book on the gaming space. But yeah, on the product management space and again on the technology side, I did. And I think one of the example that I wanted to give about is the hooked, right? How to uh, build a product that your user love. I think this is a book by Nate, if I'm not wrong. What he talked about is, and I think this is applicable for any product that is there, right? Mainly, if I talk about the app, like an Instagram app and any Play Store app, I think this could work for a gaming itself. So there are four aspects for any user journey. One is the trigger. Trigger is like when user go ahead and open that app. So think about you opening your Instagram, right? There are two types of trigger that are always there. One is the internal and second is the external. External one is that you got the notification and you open the app. It's simple as that, right? But the first is that your internal triggers. And internal triggers, if I have to explain, it is mainly driven by your emotions. And there are two positive, negative emotions, but negative emotions is the highly impacted one that will drive you to open that app. I'll take an example, or I'll ask you a questions. Think of a time when you felt like depressed, when you felt like lonely, and you wanted to open the app. Like, which one app do you go and open? It may be Instagram, it may be Facebook, right? So that's a trigger, and it's a really helpful, useful trigger for any company, any product manager, if they're going and building, if they understand that user emotions, and build that app, or maybe that trigger, because unless and until you create that value, user is not going to open that app. Like in the space of gaming, it could be mainly because they want to chilled out, or maybe they want to relax. It could be your emotions that is driving.
Interesting.
uh, Second one is the actions. Now action is generally driven by user behavior. I think you're asking about user behavior, right? So user behavior has three angles to it. One is the trigger. I think I already covered that. Second one is the actions that they generally do. And I think if I talk about the actions, action is any particular activity that you do in anticipations for reward, and third comes generally the reward. Now the action, it could be you want to uh, get away with certain negative emotions. You want to achieve something. If I take an example, on the action space, it could be you want to avoid, if you're an introvert and you wanted to avoid crowd. If you're at a, let's say, a crowded space, you open the app and you, so that's how you take on certain actions. Third aspect, now coming up after the trigger action, or the user behavior, is the reward. Anything that human has done, I think this has come from the pre-digital era as well. When human was hunting, and so there are three type of reward, or maybe two or three I will explain. One is the hunt, the tribe, and second one is the self. The self one is like, best to explain is that, think of, you keep on playing the game, you like a Candy Crush. The major advantage is that you are competing with yourself. You want to reach that higher level than your previous level. So that is the reward that you're looking for. The hunt is, I think this is again coming from, is that you are looking for certain, the advantage for yourself. Like, you want to connect with your friends. And the third one is the, and again, you want to hunt is like, you want to, it's like on the old days we used to look for food and all, right? Maybe you want to, you're looking for certain, like in the game space, you're looking to score that big score, or you're looking to that. And third one is the tribe is again, you are social spaces. I think human is a social species. He wants to be in with friends. So maybe the social part is that, he wants to connect on the gaming space. He wants to connect with your friends. He wants to play with that. He wants to beat that. He wants to be, there are 22 player he wants to play it together. He wants to fill the part of that hunt. The tribe one. And the fourth one is the after trigger, the action reward is your I am missing out on the name, but it's morely the pattern. I'll pick up, right. The pattern is again, once you established all of these things, the user will generate this pattern, and he will keep on repeating this infinite loop. He'll keep on looking for that internal trigger. He'll keep on, based on that, he'll do that actions. From that action, he'll get that reward, and from that reward, he'll keep on moving for the next steps. So this behavior was, I think, pretty much well explained by that author as well, and I think I really loved that,
Sure.
intercepting that into
So
the
you described user behavior into four categories: trigger, action, reward, and a pattern.
right.
Interesting. Um, so I think we have used almost 46 minutes from this session. I hope you got enough time to express yourself, answer the basic questions. I hope I didn't make you uncomfortable much there.
No,
Uh,
no, it was
let's try to use last 5-10 minutes, right, to conclude this. Maybe I have one question in my mind. I think it's an interesting question. So you are currently looking for a product management opportunity, right?
right.
Right. Tell me about your last 30 days of efforts and activities to find this opportunity.
Yeah, okay. So I think to start with, the market is kind of turbulent right now,
Of
right?
course, it is.
It's highly volatile, I must say. Uh, it's creating that turbulence. So, but I think the one thing which I have learned, I think over the period of 8 years, or 10 years, when I started working, is that you have to have that confidence in yourself, right? And that has really helped me as well. Going over this journey. So one thing which I keep on doing, or I think the few of the things that I'll talk about is I think looking for an opportunity, right? Because I have worked into this space, so I keep on. I think the LinkedIn is one of the best place. I keep on observing new roles that are coming up. I go through the JD, and then I apply for the role. That is one. The second aspect which I have doing is that, and I think I'll give you the. I'll explain it with the example. Is that anything that you have learned is likely to lose if you do not repeat it by yourself. I think the same example that I was talking about for the user. Uh, uh, to explain, it is like if you have acquired certain skill, and for the next 2 3 years, if you haven't touched on that skill, do you think you're likely to remember that skill? No, right? That's how I keep on learning, keep on reading this product space. So over the last 30 days, I keep on watching those webinars. I keep on watching certain product interviews. I keep on looking at the experts who are explaining about this product management concepts. And along with that, I'm reading about more into the senior management space. I think a few of the skills, again, I try to enhance. One is on the leadership space itself, because so the senior product management space is that role wherein you have to work with junior product manager. You have to work with the other team, so you need to have that leadership mentoring skill. And even when I was working with Blue Cognition, I had leading the team of 30 plus individuals. So that was kind of the practical experience that has given it to me. But I'm gaining more on the theoretical knowledge as well. How do you generally lead the team? How do you become a best leader? How do you have that skills? That way, people will work for you. Because at any of the day, uh, if if I have to ask you to pick between two users, two employees, one is who loves to work what he do, and second is forced to do what he has to do. I will definitely pick the first one, right? So that's how you have to train yourself to train your employees. So yeah, I think that was my
Interesting.
journey.
Um, so, if I may ask, if you have to change one thing, right, from your last 30 days of experience for finding an opportunity, and you want to change one thing, what would you change for the next 30 days,
Right.
to find an opportunity quickly?
I think I will look out for over the time I have been applying for the companies, the that I have been hiring mainly on their locations. I will, if I have to change it, what I will do is that I will look for the remote opportunities, right? majorly that are hiring. Again, we talked about, right, the market is so turbulent,
Yeah.
but that is where I will look for the remote, maybe the hybrid of role that I've been doing, because I had that belief that the traveling to office is again a waste for me, and I could utilize the time. And even if you ask me to work for like 12 hours, 24 hours, I'll work on that. And maybe because during the off office time, I keep on exploring, I keep on researching about product, the competitors, what they're doing. That is again the advantage. And then again, it gives you time to be with your personal space. So apart from my product management space, I am closely associated myself with the algo trader. So I keep on writing the code and algorithm to do the trading and all that. So that gives you space to be on your personal space as well. Maybe the other could be the gardening, on your fitness, your outdoor sports, which I was talking about. So yeah, I think it will
Interesting. So, um, I mean, let's try to put it on closure part. I learned a few things in last couple of years. Maybe I would like to share that as a thought. Right, it's
yep.
been almost 51 minutes. So this finding an opportunity, right, is technically a project. Right, we need to define the goal, define the process, follow the process, and iterate very carefully, one at a time, right, every day. It's a full-time job. So I did it previously. I had recommended to people, track the applications you send, make it like a project, follow up for every hiring manager, maybe study the JD in depth before actually applying, customize the application, spend maybe 10 hours, but don't just hit the apply button. That's
Right, right.
because
To give you, I think to give you, I think yeah, I have that process as well to talk about that. So there is this folder in my directory, where I keep on adding whatever JD that I've applied for, and in that JD you
okay.
will find 3 4 documents. One is the JD obviously itself. Second one is more about the company. It's
Hmm.
again the company, their competitor, what is the geography they are doing. Third document is mainly on their leader, the objective that I was talking about. I'll go in detail about the mission, vision, why company does exist. And
Right.
the important thing is that if you connect with that mission and vision, then it's the best place for you to work. If you're not able to connect, then I think you should look, you don't apply.
Okay.
And fourth is looking more about the app, the product, because I am the product manager, right? So what will product they have launched, how can I improve the product, what are the users that are there. So I will, I had that folder itself. So I cover all those aspects as well, and I have the Excel sheet that tracks the status of each and every interview that I do.
Ah.
So like yeah, like you said, it's a project in itself.
Of course, it's a project in itself. We have to track it. We have to carefully manage the process. Okay. So that's all about it, Mehul. I think we have had enough good enough time. In case you have any questions to ask, just about this conversation, right? Let's happy to answer.
Yeah, I think I want to ask you about the process itself. I think this is the unique one, right? The streaming and all this. So how has been your
Sure.
experience so far, and maybe a couple of tips that you would like to give?
Sure. So it's an experiment. I'm doing to learn to build a side project, to build myself from scratch again, going out of comfort zone and find an opportunity someday. Right? Or probably if this project works out, I may not look for the next opportunity.
Right.
Uh, so I was trying to write on LinkedIn day before yesterday, like as a project, I am taking up
Yeah, yeah, good.
I'm taking up this activity to interview 30 people for next 30 days, and suddenly the Games Joven founder announces a collaboration with me for this activity. I'm like, okay, I found a client already. Although I don't know what to ask for this collaboration, but yeah, I have a collaboration from day one. It's going good. Let me try to monetize this. Think of monetizing this project now. I won't need to look for a job opportunity after this, maybe.
Right, right. Would love to connect on that monetization piece again in future if
Perfect. Yeah. So
make
I
it
would suggest to
possible.
watch this video at least once again. Maybe you will get to understand your talking style, think your own areas of improvement, right?
Right,
And any feedback suggestions, I'll be open to take up anytime, right? That's
right.
all I have to say today.
Okay, yeah. Thank you,
Thanks,
Harry.
Mehul. Thanks for joining.
Thank you.
See ya. Good day, buddy. Oh, that was Mehul. We spent almost 55 minutes. It was a good conversation. I enjoyed. I hope I ensured that the other candidate also enjoys, right? What else do we have? Um, let's see you tomorrow. See you soon with a new candidate. Bye.